That's correct.
Right, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to answer this, because this is going to be the argument.
Ek gaan vir 'n kans gee om hierop te antwoord, want die volgende gaan deel van die betoog wees.
You say
Hy sê
you were so terrified,
hy was so bang of so
Of the police.
vreesbevangen deur die polisie.
correct?
Regsman?
Dis reg.
Korrek?
In that room there were police officials present
En daardie vertrek is 'n polisie teenwoordig.
whilst you were being examined,
Tydens u ondersoek op u,
whilst you were making the report to the doctor.
terwyl u die rapport aan die dokter gemaak het.
Dis reg.
Reg?
Now, if you are so terrified of the police, why then are you saying to the doctor in the presence of the police, listen, this happened because, or whilst I was being arrested? In other words, you involving the police.
Hoe sê jy dan vir die polisie dat die volgende het gebeur tydens die arrestasie in die hande van die polisie, want daardeur betrek jy dan ook die polisie.
And you didn't know if they were part of the investigation team, Captain Lombard's team, correct? You want to answer?
Jy het nie geweet nie?
You first asked the first question, and then you, before you could answer, you added, and now you're raising your voice at Adil.
I'm sorry, my
That's
lord.
inappropriate.
I'm sorry, my lord.
Let's take it one step
I'm
at a
sorry.
time.
Sorry, Mr. Potts.
Jammer nie, Apollos.
You
I already told you it goes downhill from here. She would actually do good. Okay, this lady prosecutor, she would actually do good in Judge Retta's courtroom. I mean, over there you can jump up and down, you can shout, you can yell. And one thing as well, she keeps pointing at him. Not in Judge Nathan's courtroom, okay? Not here. Judge Nathan's courtroom, there's decorum, everyone is treated equally, and you are innocent, okay? In Judge Nathan's courtroom, you are innocent until proven guilty. So even her level of questioning, again, I still repeat, is not at his level of understanding. She should have taken a tip from Advocate Shololo, which is literally, what is your highest level of education? We know Renz finished, I think it was grade 9. And then we know that accused number 2, Steffi, he finished at grade 7. So I'm just trying to go with probabilities here. What level of education does Mr. Apollos here have? But I also received this comment, and it says, I'm worried about his level of education and comprehension. I don't think he knows what's going on. It's as if he can't tell why the state is asking him certain questions. He can't put 2 and 2 together. Intellectually, he seems challenged, just to be kind. And that is very similar to what I had mentioned previously, that I am not sure that he has any business being in the witness box. I really am not sure. And also, I remember when the case started and they read their pleas, I was like, wait, what? Why are they pleading so early? Because the onus is on the state to prove them guilty. They didn't have to plead. So anyway, that is the tactic of this defense team. And I'm also not sure if they're charged in common purpose. That's something I also need to look into. But at the same time, it's I feel it was not a good move to put him in the witness stand, because like I said, it just deteriorates from here on, and they're asking him questions that put him in a corner, and he just ends up saying, no. So did the police brutality happen? I don't know. I'm not saying it did or it didn't happen, but if his version is correct, he's not doing a good job representing himself, especially that his his statement and that of accused number 2 are identical twins. That for me is quite concerning. That's a red flag. It's huge red duvet. Why are the statements word for word the same? But then I don't know if they're written by the same person. That could be an influence. Anyway, let's continue listening on, and let me know your thoughts, of course, down below in the comment section.
The point the prosecutor is making is
Die punt wat die staatadvokaat altyd bring,
the first part,
die eerste gedeelte,
that you didn't want to tell because you were scared you're going to be beaten again.
Hy wou nie praat nie, want hy was bang hy gaan weer geslaan word
By the police.
deur die polisie.
And I'm adding in on her question just to give you some context.
Net of jy konteks te gee op haar vraag.
So you would have heard that it was highlighted in this trial, within the trial, the fact that there was a police officer or more in the rooms with the doctor. Can you recall that?
Onthou jy dit?
Dis reg so.
Yes.
And that would be, it suggested, would be to prevent you from telling about injuries you sustained at the hands of the police. Are you with me?
Dis reg so.
Correct.
Now the prosecutor says to you, but doesn't make sense. Because the only things Dr. Nell reported were the ones you showed him. Right?
Dis reg so.
And they were sustained at the hands of the police. Right?
Dis reg so.
So what's the problem with the others? She says. That's when she raised the voice. I understand, see, sometimes cross-examination got heated. Your colleagues were cross-examining for days on end and raising their voice. So I understand. It's a rough and tumble of litigation.
That my colleague is misleading the witness. If she looks at the Exhibit A8, J88, yes, no, my lord, based on what?
Did you object to my questions?
I thought your lordship was finished.
Be unheard of.
I thought your lordship was finished. Thank
I'm
you.
still, do you understand what she's
Verstaan jy
saying?
meneer?
Ek verstaan.
I understand my lord.
Now I'm going to listen to Mr. Harms. The objection to your question.
Yeah, that was not to your lordship, my lord. No, she started, my learned colleague started, and what I wanted to point out is that if you look at the J88, the only part where the accused involves the police is where he says when he was arrested, he knocked his eye.
No.
And in the J88, it says when he was arrested.
You see, if you look at Exhibit AA,
Yes, my lord.
not where the doctor gives the, I think it's column number 5, it's at the bottom
Yes,
of the page, where he writes, and that's general for all the injuries. When you ever look at Exhibit KK, that's the place where it's broken up. It says
Yeah.
left knee, foot jumping out of the van, left knee or right knee, I think it was left knee, when I got into the van. And then it was left eye, that was the arrest. But with Dr. Nell, it was not distinguished.
Yeah. I will argue this, my
Yeah,
lord,
you
as
can
to
argue.
what the
But that's
doctor
how I
wrote.
understand the evidence.
Yes, now I see that, my lord. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Are you, Mr. Yankees? Not like last week. Not like last week. Be on time. Mr. Yankees is excused to go to mosque. Thank you. Ms. Pulani, I suggested that it could be that those big spongy